What's up, guys? Welcome back to the latest episode of Rearrange Rooms. It's your boy Jay, taking you through a brand new house that we just got under contract. This one's gonna be wonderful because it requires way less work than all the other houses that we do. So let me take you guys through and show you what we're doing. Let's go. Okay, y'all, welcome inside the kitchen. This is gonna be the first space that you enter into when you walk into the house. A lot of stuff throughout here is gonna be cosmetic. We're just gonna take you through some of them. These countertops, I hate them, they're gonna go. These cabinet fronts, I hate them, they're gonna go. Actually, let's talk about this island for a second. I want you guys to notice how small this island is. So as we go through the video series, not just in this season, but in other seasons as well, I wanna take you through some of the thought process that goes into it and what's gonna help you be a better flipper in the end. I hate that word flipping because it has such a negative connotation to it, but for all intents and purposes, we're gonna use it because that's the nomenclature we all understand. Now, I want you to notice, look how tight this space is in between me right here. If someone's standing here at the kitchen, they're washing dishes, there's very little room to get by you. Or let's say someone just wants to open a drawer. Not this drawer, because you can't open it. Or this one, but if someone did want to open it, there wouldn't even be room for them to open it. So what we're gonna really need to do here, we're gonna need to scoot this back all the way. You could already hear the smoke detectors going off. You're gonna need to move this back over here, and now it allows you to have some usable space in between the sink and the island itself. On this side, we do not plan on putting seating here because we already have seating for an island over on this side. The space is just really awkwardly done, but I think with enough upgrades and enough changing around of the layout, it's gonna make it a little bit more usable for the person buying the house. Okay, here's a big pet peeve of mine, and that's when you have two different counters. Look at the counter that's right here for the bar top. Look at the counter that's over here for the island. Both of them are different. Why make them different? Consistency is king. Always make sure you keep things consistent. The less things you have for people to be like, the better chance you're gonna have you're actually gonna sell your house for a higher price. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna be replacing these guys as well. These lights, they look dinky as hell. I hate them, they gotta go. This metal shelf, what is that? That's gotta go. We're trying to make this house beautiful, but at the same time, we're also trying to make it functional. What can you put here other than like some paprika and some adobo? Nothing, so get rid of it. Put something there that you could actually use, like a true cabinet. Here's another thing I noticed. Look up right here. This is when you don't plan your spaces. You see a light here, you see a light here. What do you think was here? Another light. You know why they took it down? And this is just what happens because you could tell based on the way they're using the space. Boop, hit the light. So they had to cap it, and now you have an ugly cap right there. This is the kind of thing that happens when you don't pre-plan what you're gonna be doing. Always thinking about how is someone gonna be using the spaces that I'm selling. Another thing, right here, we have the floor, which has this very strange angle in it. So odd. So when you're walking down the hallway, if you have a late night and you're kind of stumbling, you might easily fall here. What would be more natural, which would be a better transition from the kitchen to the dining room, is to have a piece of concrete poured right in this section right here, so that you have a little bit more level area and a wider area to use your countertop and to use your island. And that's just gonna allow for a straight line transition from the kitchen to the dining room. So that's gonna be something that we do. Once that's done, we're gonna rotate our dining table now and have it be a little bit wider out here, because one thing I've noticed about this house is there's just a whole bunch of space that you can't do anything with. Other than cartwheels, there's nothing you can do here. So by rotating the dining table, you can make it a little bit larger and make more space for the people who are here at your house. Okay, something I wanna make sure I bring this up before I forget, because it is important. One, whenever you have laundry that's indoor, especially when it's in a kitchen, and you don't have a space to put all of your goods, your dry goods, that's gonna be a problem, because most people have dry goods and they need to store it somewhere. So what we're gonna need to do at some point, maybe potentially make this a stackable washer dryer, and then maybe cut out this portion of the wall and fit a pantry in the space where the washer is currently and this wall ends, right? Maybe we can get a nice pantry cabinet in there. I do think it is important to always make sure you have a space for your dry goods, because people will complain about it. Okay guys, we are now inside the living room, and I think something you're gonna be noticing is like, what's wrong with this house? Why are you even gonna do any renovations? So there's a much larger story here. These people were going through foreclosure, they needed to sell the house. We were able to pick it up at a discount, which is wonderful, but there are some things about this house that you may not be able to pick up in video. For instance, the texture of these walls, they're incredibly bad. I don't know how to put a word for it because it's just really not very well done. Like usually when you skim coat walls, you make sure you have a nice smooth finish, or you have a level 4 finish or a level 3 finish, which is like an orange peel. The problem with this is that the walls are just completely uneven. So even when you do have those finishes to them, they don't look as good because the wall is lumpy and it's got a wave to it. So some of the things that we're doing over the next couple weeks here is we're just cleaning up all the eyesores. One of the biggest reasons why people don't sell their house for a maximum dollar because of eyesores. Eyesores would be a perfect example, like that angle that we talked about in the kitchen. All of those things are gonna add up over time for someone to be like, I don't know about this house, or make them feel like they have projects to do. You wanna eliminate all projects. You want someone to walk into one of your houses and feel like there's absolutely nothing to do except bring their toothbrush. That is how you maximize your dollar. With that being said, let me show you some of the other spaces that we're working on. Okay, we are now inside of the office, or at least this is how they plan the space to be, which is an office, which is actually a pretty good use of the space because the space is incredibly long and there's just not a whole lot of furniture that you can put in here to accommodate for the size of it. So by cutting up the space and utilizing it with office furniture the way this previous owner did, it actually works really well. Something that I did notice about this space is that it is very hot, and that's because there are no AC drops anywhere. All they do is have these fans. The problem with not having AC drops and really large glass windows like this, especially on a southern exposure, it will make this room cook. So here in Florida, our sun exposure, you want to mitigate it as much as possible. And when you can't, you need at least AC to fight off some of that sun, or you need some exterior protection or shades, right? There are more things that you can do, but not having AC in this space is just a killer. You're gonna be sweating your butts off. So something we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be adding 2 drops, one for the living room side and one from this office side, make this space way cooler. Welcome to the guest bath. It is not bad. All things considered, this is not bad. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, what's wrong with that bathroom? Why would you make any changes? This is about making something desirable, making something somebody says, I need to have it, versus making something that someone says, I could live there. It's 2 very different schools of thought. Sometimes I get people that ask me, how is it that you sell your houses for the dollar that you sell it at? And the number one reason why is because I make every single space feel, keyword here, feel desirable, as opposed to making it something that someone could just see themselves living in. It's just a very different thought process that goes into it. With that being said, let me show you some of the stuff I'm gonna do in here. This tile right here, ripping up all of it. It just doesn't have that feel of something that feels luxurious, that feels like what somebody would want to put into their house if it's brand new. Changing out the toilet, I'm gonna be taking down this glass wall here, and I'm gonna be refinishing the tile. So something that I also noticed, see that band, that silvery band of tile, and then above it, they turn the square tiles and they rotate into a diamond pattern. We're gonna eliminate that, put it back in a square pattern with some newer tile, refinish everything white, maybe add a dark black band detail, something to give it a little bit more character and style, and you're gonna see it's immediately gonna transform the way this the way this shower feels. Another thing we're gonna do here, we're gonna be smoothing out the walls, just like we are in the living room, changing out all of our light fixtures, as well as put a quieter fan because that fan is pretty loud from what you guys can hear. Brand new vanity with a new faucet set, and maybe change out the doorknobs themselves, and you're gonna have a much better bathroom. Okay, we are inside one of the guest rooms. This house is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, so there isn't a whole lot you can do here, especially with the spaces because they kind of are what they are. But some cosmetic things we can do. First thing, these windowsills from like the 80s and 90s, they're so bad. They're so bad. So we're gonna be ripping up all this stuff, put a brand new marble sill, 1 clean line all the way across. Thankfully, we already have impact windows throughout the house, which is wonderful. One less thing to worry about in terms of cost, and it also makes your property value go up. Technically, they say that it does not increase your value, but I know for a fact it increases marketability. Those smoke detectors, we gotta take care of them. When you do have impact windows and you don't have to worry about having shutters go on the outside, here in Florida, this has some true value, whether an appraiser says it does or not. Some other things we're gonna be doing, smoothing out the walls throughout the space as well. And then we're just gonna paint everything white, make it look nice and bright and beautiful. And of course, we gotta get rid of this furniture because you know I can't do this. I gotta make something feel like me, you know, true J. Abrams. All right, y'all, this is the main bedroom of the house, a little bit bigger than the other room, and it also has its own private ensuite bathroom, which is wonderful. So something with this room, very similar to the other one, we're gonna be redoing the windowsills in here as well because it's also really bad. Swapping out these fans, you know, these old white fans are just terrible. We're gonna relocate the AC drop, which is this guy right here. The problem with that is you wanna move your AC drop further from your fan because what the fan will do, as the fan speed increases, it will blow that cool air throughout the space. Well, when it's directly above the fan, it's literally just dropping right through the fan blades themselves. So it's gonna be a good thing to relocate that. Let me swing you guys on into the bathroom and show you that. All right, we are in one of the smallest bathrooms for a main bath that you could possibly have, but it's fine because you know what? It is an ensuite, so that's the only thing that truly matters here. Something that we're gonna be doing in here, we're gonna be refinishing the tile, very similar to the other bathroom as well. See this upper row of just ugly? We're gonna rip that down. After we rip that down, we're gonna put the same square tile up above it, and then we're gonna refinish everything in white. It's gonna look really nice. Thankfully, we have a Moen fixture, so all we're gonna need to do is just get a Moen replacement in the trim color that we like, and that's gonna make this look brand new without having to do all the demo work, ripping down tile, going through the back and all that good stuff. As far as the doors go, we're gonna clean them up. If we need to, which we very well may, we're gonna go and put a swing door or a slider, but one that's brand new, and it's gonna have a nice finished detail that matches whatever the finished color that we use for the fixture itself. Brand new vanity, new faucet, obviously a new mirror because it's god awful. And then this floor itself, we're gonna be replacing that because it's also absolutely hideous and it's just not one of my staples. So a full renovation in here is gonna look really different in the end. All right, y'all, welcome to the backyard, and it is pretty nice back here. The one negative I must say about this, look over here. You have neighbors just peering down into your backyard. God, that's gotta suck. Imagine you wanna go, so in the plans here, they had the intention of putting a swimming pool, which is really nice, but think about it. Imagine you're in your swimming pool and someone's looking down at you. You wanna swim in your birthday suit. Can't even do that because you got people looking down. So something that we're gonna need to do for back here, I haven't figured out what exactly, but we're gonna need to plant something along this back edge that grows nice and tall so that someone at least can get the vision that over time their plants are going to grow and then you'll get some sort of privacy from the neighbors right here because just the way it currently stands right now, I know it's going to be a big deterrent when we go to sell the house. Outside of that, let's say you got a pet, you have a dog running around, wonderful space for doing it. You've got everything that you need backyard here. So I'm gonna take you guys around the side and show you what that looks like. Okay, we are now outside of we're still in the backyard, but this is the private, semi-private patio space for the main bedroom. So they have their own double doors that lead to the backyard, which is pretty nice. Back here, we're just gonna do some simple cleanup, spray the weeds just so we can kill off all the stuff that's happening right here on the pavers themselves, and just probably put some furniture, make it feel nice and cozy. Around here on the side of the house, you could actually see, there's not a whole lot you can do back here, so what we'll probably do is we'll fill in some seed just where the grass isn't growing as well. We'll clean up the trees and add a little bit of mulch, and that's about it. Okay guys, last space I want to cover while we're still here in the backyard. This is the space that leads from the kitchen itself. We're just gonna have some outdoor furniture out here, very similar to the other side. We're gonna spray whatever weeds are left on the pavers themselves, clean it up. That's about it. All right, y'all, welcome to the front of the house. And something I want to bring up here is this landscaping, because it's pretty bad, right? We're going to be replacing all this. Some people are like, what's wrong with the landscaping? It's so beautiful. I hate it. And when I hate something, I'm going to rip it out. So, sorry, not sorry. So, I'm going to be tearing out all this stuff here. These lights, god awful. I'm going to be replacing those with some proper solar lights to give the house some uplighting, which is going to look really good. These columns, as you can see, can we get a shot? right here, you guys can see this. Notice how this paint is peeling. So what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna scrape this guy down really nice and good. Once we get that scraped down, we're gonna repaint over this, and then we're gonna put a proper footing right back over it. This one's actually not bad shape. It's just a little decorative foot that goes around the bottom of it. It's actually pretty good. The problem with it though is wood. We actually need PVC because we're outside. So that is something I'm gonna be doing as well. As far as the soffits, everything looks to be in pretty good shape because all of our soffit vents are holding together really nicely. And then something I wanna make sure I cover as well is we're gonna need to get rid of these shutters because it's an eyesore. And it's an eyesore because, as my cameraman pointed out, it's useless decoration. And useless decoration just does not have a place, in my opinion, when you're doing a lot of these houses. So by getting rid of this, refinishing the area that was where it was once located, you're just gonna have a much better finish in the end. Okay guys, that wraps up this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you tune in next week so you can see a continuation of all the things that we didn't get through this week. Tune in to a lot. Okay, let's go. Follow me on Instagram at jabrams, as well as subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And don't forget to turn on those post notifications so you always know when the goodies are coming out. So until next time, catch you guys